Sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the post-match stream. I'm on my own at the minute because I don't know where everyone is. So if anyone's around and wants to join in, then you're welcome to join in. I don't really know what to say so far because I'm on my own. So no. Hey up, John. Glad to have some company in. How you doing, buddy? Hello, Bobby. Robbie, you all right? Hello, Mark. Yeah, welcome to the post-match gloomy stream. Obviously, not a great result. It's I think the feeling that most like if you're going to start off with the feeling that you feel straight after the game, it's disappointment. Again, it's a mistake that leads to their goal. I thought that even though we weren't really very threatening. We did have chances in the first half. We should have scored 2 goals, but again, a mistake's cost us. Pickford this time letting the ball run away from him, gives away a penalty. And then the second goal, it was a deflection, which you could argue that it's unlucky, but to be honest, on the basis of the second half, we just never looked like scoring in that second half at all. I thought that basically after the penalty, they just controlled possession and they weren't really in any hurry. They were just passing it around, and we didn't really look like we were in the game at all. So it is a little bit of a gloomy thing. But it's one of those situations where as you all know, who watch these shows. I'm always someone who tries to see some positives from the thing. I thought that the first half we played really well. Rode out the early storm, and we got ourselves into the game. And obviously, Damari Gray, if he had a head on his shoulders, he would be a really good player because he has all of the skills. He's got the pace. He's skinned their right back, got it on goal. And then that composure, he just does not have the composure when it matters. And he blazes it over. And then, obviously, great play in midfield. Again, we nicked the ball. Onana's through on goal. And again, it comes across as a lack of composure. I'm not going to go too mad on him because he's not a striker. And the ball was bouncing around a little bit. But when you get chances against anyone in this league, you've got to take them. You've got to take them. And we didn't take our chances. And if you don't take your chances in this league, at some point you're going to get punished, especially against a side as good as as good as Spurs. So Dan the man is here. So let's just bring Dan in to see what he wants to say. Hey up, mate. How are you doing?
How are you doing, matey? You right?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Bit gutted. I was just basically sort of doing a quick sort of run through the game, and like the overall feeling is disappointment actually, because I thought that the first sort of 15 minutes, as expected, they were all over us. But we rode out that little spell, and then the first half, we grew into the game and we were really good. We defended excellently, and we caused them problems. And like I said, we nearly scored twice on the counter attack. Gray and Onana both had really good chances. The one with with Gray, you could argue that he should have passed it to Mupai. But strikers in those positions, they'll tend to strike. The Onana one, again, it was bobbling up and down a little bit, and he got his shot in, and it was just over the bar. But outside of those two, we didn't really create a lot at all. So it's kind of like the even though we I know we conceded 2 goals today, but defensively we look such a much better side, especially compared to how we performed in the last sort of Tottenham game. We do look better, but we also still look short, don't we?
Yeah, I think defensively we looked close to being bang on for a couple of. I don't like this. I'm going to have to do an analysis thing on this on the channel, because there's a thing where we leave the person on the right or their left and we let the ball be played into him and then pressure him. It happened on the second goal. We leave him completely free. It's like we pull in and leave him out there and just leave him out there, and the ball gets played into him, and then he either gets the shot away or gets the cross, but he's got the option of both because we haven't been tight to him. I'm going to have to hit that on an analysis thing because that really does do my head in. But I think we was good enough to get a draw today, but we've got to learn how to pass the ball. We generally have got to learn how to pass the ball. I've just done a tweet now, and it generally felt like Lampard's, because Lampard said in the interview, I'm going to make sure we don't lose the ball in dangerous positions. And it felt like he's had a word with our centre midfielders and says, don't lose the ball in dangerous positions. And then it feels like our centre midfielders are scared to move into those dangerous positions or pass the ball into those dangerous positions. So we're always passing the ball to our defenders. And it was just completely safe and predictable. And it was slow because the moment you pass the ball back to your defenders, you're passing the ball slow. It slows the game down. Tottenham can set up. They know what we're going to do. And it's very, very, very predictable. Do you know that it was going through my head, this game? You remember when, I know we said about getting him on the channel. Remember when we said remember Pienaar and Baines, they passed and moved, and they was never scared to pass and move because they was in control. We're going to pass and move how we want to. We haven't got that connection in the middle of the park where, sometimes Gay got the ball, but no one's wanting the ball. No one's moving to get the ball. And then Gay can move when he gives it to him, and then you get that little break the lines. And if you don't do that, Tottenham are set up very, very, good. Like that, within 3-4 meters, there's always going to be a player on you. So the only way to beat that is to pass the ball very fast, Jeff, and be confident on the ball. We wasn't that confident.
We did it sometimes, but I think that what this game shows, just from my own personal point of view, is and I hate using it. I hate using it and saying whatever, but reality is what reality is. We look like a side that is just on its first steps. That's what we look like. We look like a side that it's almost like we're learning how to play football again, because last year, I mean, we survived, and that's the best that you can say about last year is that we were bloody awful in midfield, awful defensively, and we just survived. We just survived, and that's all we did. And this summer we've basically rebuilt a part of the squad. It's not a finished job yet, but in a process of rebuilding, you're also building connections, systems, styles of play, and all this kind of thing. And we look like a work in progress. That's the way I see it. Is that some stuff is going really well, some stuff is going badly, but we look like a team that hasn't fully gelled yet. That's what we look like.
I do feel that we should be better than what we was today, though. With the time we've had now, I feel we should have been better at passing the ball. I generally do feel we should have been better at passing the ball because just show some thingy. Because the thing is, Jeff, you've got to come out of the game knowing that you've showed your game. We come out of that. We come out of that game completely we did, like I say, defended good. We did. We could have drew because we defended that good. Tarkowski, absolutely insane, probably man of the match for me. But we come out of that game just defending. We stopped Tottenham. What did we take to them? What did we make them do? Other than those two chances, we didn't do nothing.
Other than those two chances, not a lot. And that's what I'm trying to say is no, but that's what I'm trying to say is it's kind of like we're still caught betwixt and between, as in, if we try and go to, okay, use these last two games as the example, right? Is if we play more adventurous, right, we can score a goal like we did against Man United, but then easily make mistakes and end up conceding 2 goals because we're playing more open, and if we try and play and sit back and be tight and defensive, we lose something going forward. And I think we're not that balanced side yet. I think we're still a work in progress that is like we're either good at one thing or good at another, but we're not good at both at the same time. And that's going to take time. And
yeah, but today it felt like I get what you're saying, and today you've got it like you say, you defend, but it's hard to get the passing right after you defend. But today it felt like we couldn't do that at all, which was worrying because when we've defended, which we did really well, when we get the ball back, because we don't get the ball much, when you've got it, you have got to keep it. You have got to keep it and not give it back to them so easy because we knew we wasn't going to get a lot of the ball. So when we've got the ball, we've got to like pass and move and not just pass it to the defence because all it was is just we've got 3 good centre midfielders, but they was bottling it. Iwobi didn't have the best game for me today, being class, but didn't have the best game. Onana didn't, and gone again because all it was is they pass it back to the defence, Tottenham set, and then it's a long ball, Jeff, and the long ball is straight into Spurs' hands.
I think as well is that the first thing we look to do is to point fingers at our own team, but at the same time you've also got to look at the opposition. No team is going to go to Tottenham and dominate possession and play their own football. They're just not, because Tottenham, they're in the top 3 at the moment. They're a team that's in the Champions League. They've got world-class players. They're a really, really, really good side. And if you play too ambitious against a side like that, they'll punish you. That's what they do. And so you could see that the players were cautious and didn't want to give the ball away. And so we probably played with a lack of ambition, played within ourselves to the most part. But like I said, we did create a couple of opportunities. And then in those situations, you have to take your chances. That's,
I
playing against a better side away from home, a really top level side, you've got to take the chances when they come your way. But the truth is, we're just not that good yet. That's just
we can. I generally think we've been better than this. I think we can be better than that. That was poor. We can pass the ball better than that. Are you saying to me we can't pass the ball better than that?
Yeah.
There was no movement off the ball. I could go through that game and there was so many things I could point out that players done wrong. So we could be a lot better than that. We could be a lot better than that. There was no pass and move in the middle.
I don't think so.
It was safe.
I genuinely don't think so. I think that if you look at all of the games we've played so far this season, we haven't dominated possession in any game at all. And we've given up a lot of chances in every single game. When we've tried playing in a more adventurous way, we've conceded goals because we just aren't that good yet. I hate to be honest and blunt about it, but we're not a good side. We're still not a good side. We still um, we we're still a long way from being a properly competitive Premier League side, and we're in for another long season, and that's just the reality. And Lampard said it at the start of the season. If you think we're going to go from being a side that just nearly got relegated to a side challenging for Europe in one season, then you're kidding yourself because it doesn't work that way. It's a learning process, and all we can do is just practice, 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 and hopefully it's going to come better. We're going to bring in a few more better players over the next sort of season or two. But realistically, we're a bottom half of the Premier League side. That's just a fact. So when we play, like after these couple of games, like I said, I still think Newcastle away is going to be a really tough game. But then after that, we've got 3 or 4 games against sort of teams that are more on what I feel is our current level. And they're the games we have to target. And if we win those games, we'll probably finish, like I said, somewhere from 14th to 10th, somewhere like that. And if that's just realism, it just is realistically where we are. And I just don't think we're that good yet. That's just my honest opinion.
Like I say, I disagree. I think we should be better than what we are. I think we can be better than what we are. I completely disagree. I think we should be better than what we are.
Fair enough.
No, arguing way, just in a general thing. Yeah, I know what our players have got, and I know our players should be able to pass against Spurs better than what we are. Played against Spurs loads, and we can pass better than that in the central midfield. And we definitely can pass better. Passing, just think of passing in your head. It's a simple thing. It's a professional footballers that can pass and move. There was gaps in Spurs where they could just pass and move. It's easy to label, we were shit last season and we've got a long way to go. Yeah. We can be better than what we are. I generally do believe we didn't turn up today. Garner Gay and freaking Onana and Iwobi should be working together in a group, passing and moving, and not show some bollocks, because at the end of the day, yes, and I get what you're saying. If you lose the ball against these, they're going to make you pay. But also, if you don't lose the ball, you're going to break the lines and you're going to score, and the ball's in the back of their net. So it's going to go one way or another. So it's either going to be you're going to score or they're going to score. But if we're going to shit ourselves every freaking game and not show what you've got to do to score, because that's what scoring does. They committed loads forward. That's why they scored. And I think if we sit back and play safe all the time and say, we're not good. We're not good enough yet to do this.
No, it's not a case of...
No, I'm not. I'm just generally saying, though, you've got to take the risk, because it's the start of the season. It's the start of the season. You can afford to lose games. We lost anyway. We lost last game. We lost this game. So you can afford... We lost anyway. So why not? Why don't we lose and go for it? Because you never know. If Iwobi, Onana and Garner Gay show some balls in the middle of the park, maybe we could have played through the lines, because Tottenham press. And if you play back, that press is in your face and it's hard. But if you break that press, you're on their back line and they're in trouble, because the reason they're committed when they've committed so many bodies forward,
I genuinely don't think we're good enough to.
You've got to try though. Yet. You've got to try.
No,
because you're going to lose anyway if you sit back. We've learned that twice. If you sit back, you're going to lose. Well, maybe we should have got the draw today, because the Pickford. Come on, mate! You've got to catch the ball and put it in your bloody hands, mate. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a mistake. That was a poor mistake.
And I really don't think if Pickford didn't make that mistake and caught, I don't know whether it was a penalty. I don't know. I've watched it slow and I can't see if there was any contact. Yeah. But I say to myself, with the way referees are against us, Jeff, you don't put anything in their hands. No. So you keep Pickford needs to save the ball, and you move on. And don't put it in the referee's hands. I can't believe it didn't go to VAR. I was waiting for it to go to VAR, because the way where Kane knocked the ball, for me, he wasn't going to get on the ball and score. He over knocked it.
But you could see from.
But Pickford put his hands up and said he made the bloody mistake. So
it was one of those where it was a penalty all day. It definitely was.
But I generally think without that mistake, we would have been okay, because even the second goal that they scored, it deflected off Iwobi, but they got that look. Once you get that goal, things get easier for them, doesn't it? But I feel like if Pickford didn't give them the goal so easy, Spurs might have started getting frustrated, and the game would have been in our hands then.
But I think, like I said, if you look at it, you can look at everything from a positive or a negative point of view, and like it's always easy for after the match when you've lost, to sort of see everything in a negative light. And sort of, and that's fair enough. We've lost the game, and it's disappointing. But like I say, I'm seeing this season from the point of view of trying to be as realistic as possible. In that we are where we are, and it's a long process to get to where we want to be, and we do not have enough threat. And I think the big thing about what you're saying is about being able to have possession and all that kind of stuff and break the lines. I think you need to have a threat at the top of the pitch to cause the defenders of the other team to give you that time and space to play through their lines because they're backing off you, because they see you as a threat. And I just genuinely think, especially with Mopay up front, I know he's a favourite of yours, but he's a workhorse and he might get an odd goal or so, but he is not a frontline striker. He's a bench player. He's a bench player. He's a bench player.
Listen to this then, because
I'm
trying to say something to you. Yeah, go for your point. I'll say something to you after.
Let me go through my point. He's a bench player. I think Demarai Gray is a bench player. I think McNeil is a bench player. In a good side, in a properly good side, that's like a European challenging side, all three of the players who started for us today are bench players. They are not good enough to be a competitive top half of the Premier League front three. They're just not. They're decent Premier League squad players. And once we buy some more players, whether that be in January or next summer, that's where you're going to find them all on the bench regularly, because we will get better. But for now, they run around a lot, but they're not a clinical, aggressive front three. They're just not. They're squad players. That's my opinion.
So you want me now, yeah? Here's my opinion then. On Mupay, straight away, like you say, labelled him as a bench player. What? I disagree completely again. What did we do to help Mupay's game? We're whacking the ball into him. He's not 6'4". We didn't play. Mupay is a good striker. If Mupay played in a Brighton possession team, Mupay is a good striker if you can get possession and put him in. We did nothing to him today. He ran around like an endless chicken, and we didn't even bloody give him the ball. You can't say Mupay is not good today, because he got absolutely nothing. He ran his socks off and couldn't get the ball, got no service. If our midfield feed Mupay, our midfield couldn't pass the ball twice. So how can we say anything about Mupay when that's the case? Lampard should have probably played. Calvert-Lewin wasn't fit. Probably should have played Rondon if that's the case. If you're not going to put Mupay through, because Mupay would be good if you got in that number 10 position and put him in, or put some good balls through. He got no service today. So I can't say nothing about Mupay at all today, because generally, what did he do? What did he do wrong? Like, generally, you told me for what Mupay's game is, what did he do wrong?
No, I'm not saying that he did anything wrong. That's
but how can he be good if we're not playing to his strengths? How can he be good if we're not playing to his strengths? You said he's like a squad player.
He is a squad player. What I'm trying to say is
if it's a team with possession.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of a good player who you would play up front. Right. Look at Ivan Toney. Right. You put Ivan Toney in that team, and he's a threat. If you took Mupay out the side and put Ivan Toney in the same position, he would be more of a threat. But that's just my opinion. He is a better striker. Mupay is a good squad player, and he will do you a job, and he works hard, and he runs around, and he gets in people's faces. But he's a very limited player. That's just reality. It's not a criticism of his effort or his work rate or anything like that. It's just a reality. He's didn't score a lot of goals at Brighton. He played in the Championship a bit. and didn't score a lot of goals there. He is not a frontline number 9 striker. He's a workhorse and a pest and someone who you can bring on to cause problems or whatever. He's not a starting number 9. He's just not in the Premier League,
I
not
think
against a team as good
I think you could have
as
had
Tottenham.
I think you could have had Haaland up front today, and he would have struggled to have a good game with the way that we played.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that.
Well,
I don't agree with
what
that.
did we do to give him service? What did we do to give where did we? If we haven't passed the ball up to the striker, what is Haaland going to do?
Well, no, like I'm saying is if you've got better quality strikers, right? Why did Tottenham press us so high? Is because they don't see us as a real threat that much, so they can compress the midfield, which makes our passing space really small. If we've got much better forward players, they give us a little bit of extra space. That's just the way it works.
I think they pressed us so much because we pass backwards 24/7. And I think when a team passes backwards 24/7, eventually you're going to move on to them because you know they're not going to play it forward. And one time we did play it forward to Damari Gray, we nearly scored, but we didn't look like we was going to do that a lot. We did it one time. So if you sit back deep and play with your, they're going to move on to you. And I think that's where we struggled.
That's fair enough. We're allowed to have a different opinion. It's not a problem to have a different opinion. Like I said, could we have done a little bit better? Yeah, maybe. But I just genuinely don't think we're very good. I just like the reality of the situation is we're not a good side. That's just a fact. We're really not a good side. We've got some good players, and we can play to a sort of decent level. But until we become a threat up front, a genuine, serious threat up front, like we are where we are, it just is reality. We're not a clinical.
See, I just think
side.
until you get good in the middle of the park and the wings, I don't think you're going to get much to the striker. I've not even got to the striker situation yet. Whether we've got the Mupé's good enough or not, we've got to be better in the middle of the park and the wings to get the ball into those positions.
Yeah. Let's have a little look at some comments just to see what people are saying, because we're having a little argue amongst ourselves. Let's have a look. John Riley says cheated by the ref again. I don't know. Did the ref have a bad game? Did you see it?
Yeah, he was a bit shit, wasn't he? Yeah, he's yellow carding everyone for no reason. He didn't have really full control of the game. I do think some yellow cards were stupid. He's just inconsistent with his yellow cards. And then, like I say, the penalty, I think it's worth taking that to VAR for the sake of 2-3 minutes and seeing. And then I don't know whether it was or not. I watched it slowed down, and I don't know, but I definitely would have took it to VAR.
Kane definitely threw himself to the ground, but that's
he did definitely dive. Then it looked over.
What he's going to do, though, isn't it? That is him basically. But yeah, this to me is.
Dave Weston's just said. I'll go comments that are just coming now. Recently, Dave Weston's just said the ref gave yellows for nothing changes. That's sort of just basically saying Kevin Kraft, Lampard's not getting the best. I don't like Slate Lampard, but I don't think he did get the best out of the place today. That's why I'm different to you, Jeff. I generally think we could be better. Like there was more potential in these players today. I definitely think it. Like I say, I know you disagree with me. You think we're doing as good as we can be doing now, but I think that today a lot of players, for what I know they can be, would have gone off that pitch thinking, I didn't really take my game to Spurs. I let Spurs off easily there today.
We are pretty much generally. I mean, we do see it. We do see some things in a different way. You're a more positive person, and I tend to be fairly realistic. And
there's some that agree with you in the comments, Jeff. There's some that agree with me. Some are saying you're right in what you've said, and some are saying they agree with me. So it's 50-50, but at least both people are getting
and that's football,
stuff.
Isn't it? It's one of those situations where often what you'll find is, and this is something I've noticed, that so let's say for an example, we beat West Ham, right, and we beat Southampton, and you would get a load of people on here saying we played really well in both those games. I look at both of those games and think we didn't really play very well at all in those games. We made mistakes. We nearly conceded goals on numerous occasions, but we got the result. And the result always makes the glass half full rather than half empty. You know, if you win the game, then you tend to overlook the negatives and highlight the positives and see it as, you know, as an overall, it's a positive because you won the game. But realistically, if you analyze the game against West Ham, for an example, we won 1-0, but we gave over possession a lot of times. We sat back again a lot of times. They nearly scored on numerous occasions. So we won the game, but I don't think we were the better side. Against Southampton, again, we played well in the first half, didn't threaten. Then they scored. Then we scored 2 goals, and then they dominated the whole rest of the game after that. And we held out and won 2-1. And so we've won 2 games there. So it's like, oh, everything's brilliant. Oh, we've just won 2 games back to back after being on a little unbeaten run of getting a few draws and whatever. And you can see everything as positive. But realistically, we didn't dominate any of the games. And we just got the result on those 2 occasions. And we got some draws on occasions as well. But we could easily have lost all of the games that we've played in so far. We could have easily won all of the games we've played so far. We've been in every single game that we've. That's the thing to me is we've been in every single game that we've played so far. We've given up chances, created a few chances, come out on the right side sometimes, come out on the wrong time sometimes. But we've been in every single game. We've not got battered by anyone. I think this is the first time we've lost by 2 goals, isn't it?
Yeah, we've normally been 1 goal in. I think there was another game maybe, but
so to me that's where we are. We're like a half decent side with some good players, some ordinary players. When everything goes our way and we do everything right, we can win a game. We make a mistake and we do bits wrong, we'll lose a game. But overall, I just think that we're better than we were last year, but not hugely better. That's my overall kind of assessment of where we are. Is we are where we are.
See, but with the, I get what you're saying. We wasn't perfect with West Ham and Southampton, and we there was things that went wrong, but what we did then, you get better and you build on that, and you build on it. We know it wasn't perfect, but it could have gone both ways. But you build on it, and then it looks like we've gone backwards today. It looks like we've gone backwards to nothing.
I know,
with the passing and the possession. Because against Southampton, like there's a comment here saying that we did.
Hey, mate.
Jeff, we go try and realistic, but we did dominate both ways. I feel like we did play well in there, and we did get on the ball more, and we did get in there half, and we did look like we sat back when we scored. But I definitely felt like we attacked a lot better and was better on the ball.
Dominated is a strong word. I think we did well in both of those games, but I wouldn't say we dominated them. Not like I think we did well in them, but we also gave up chances and whatever. Yeah, they definitely should have been scored. Yeah, and I think it's one of those where that's the defining moment of the game is Pickford's made a mistake, and that's the difference realistically. Is I think if we could have, if he just gave us that ball, we were defensively quite good, even if we weren't very threatening. And we could have come out the game with a point, and maybe even nicked it.
I'm not saying we can have a lot of possession, but at the end of the day, didn't we bring Onana and Gay in to try and Garner as well to try and get us some possession in the middle of the park? We know Tottenham are going to out-possession us, but we didn't keep the ball at all good in that middle of the park today. And I feel like to improve, you've got to at least get something and work on it to get more and more and more. But there was not one point where we tried to pass it in the middle. We didn't try and play through those lines once today. Well, watch the game. We didn't try and play through those lines once today. And if you can show me the clip, I'll watch it and I'll say I'm wrong. But where did we try?
You must have slept through the first half.
I definitely didn't, mate. I definitely didn't. When did we pass it and show balls to try and play it through the lines? When did we do that? When did you see a good footage of Gay, Onana, and Iwobi passing and moving and going through that Tottenham press?
Quite a few times.
That's fine, and I'll watch it. And I'll say I'm completely wrong, then, but I don't agree with that.
No, but I mean, if you actually listen to the summary of the people at half time, they literally gave a summary of it. Is like, we were under pressure the first 20 minutes, and then we gained control, and we were passing it, and they were passing it. They weren't really threatening us, and we created the better chances. So overall, they said that we'd played better in the first half than Tottenham. So if we're as bad as you're claiming that we are,
that was complete bullshit though. Because at the end of the day, Spurs were completely dominated possession first half, and we had two where we knocked the ball up and had two chances. That was just not by us creating them. That was just two chances lofted up. I don't feel they was just lucky chances. Spurs was
I just think in control of that first half. Overly negative to
That's the way I'll be, mate. That's the way I'll be. I ain't going to change, mate. I'm always going to push us to move better. And I think the way you say it to be like, we was crap last season, so it's allowing us to be crap again this season. We need to push to be better. And I do think we can be a lot better. I set a standard that I want to be.
But you tend to have...
If I say, it was crap last season, I'm only going to get a bit better, we're going to be in the same situation. And we've got new players, and the bar's different. The bar's not still back down there. It's up there for me.
No, but that's not realistic, though, because that's what you want in your head for it to be, but that doesn't reflect on the reality of what is the truth. Like, you're always like, glass is half full or glass is tipped over on the table. And I just try to give a kind of middle view of it's just reality. Like, we're not as good as you think we could be, but we're also not as awful as you claimed we were in that first half. We are a team that finished 16th. We're getting better. We're improving. Some things we do really well. Some things we're not so good at yet. It's a process. We're going to get better. But, like... I can only compare us to where we were last year, and I watched the game at Tottenham last year, and we conceded.
So we've gone nowhere if you're comparing us to last year, though. We've gone nowhere.
But we conceded 5 goals in that game. We could have conceded 10. We were 3-0 down in like the first half, and 5-0 down by an hour gone. That was Everton, like in January. And so, like, are we that bad now? No, of course we're not. Are we better? Of course we are. Are we the finished article, or are we, up to a level where we could genuinely compete with a team like Tottenham? No, we're not. We're just not that good yet.
I just remember when we played Chelsea, we went to the game. Chelsea, a good team. We went, and Iwobi and Doucouré played centre mid, and they showed confidence on the ball, and they played, and we passed it a bit. And I thought, yes, this is a bit of a new Everton now. And then we played a couple more games, and we started passing the ball, and we won. We beat Southampton, we beat West Ham. Not 100% passing the ball, but showing we get better at passing the ball. And then all of a sudden, we play Man United. We play Man United, and all of a sudden against Man United, we tried the passing that's been working a little bit, and we conceded goals by doing it. And then all of a sudden, we got scared today, and we were scared to do what we did against Man United. You can disagree. I'm always going to disagree with you because I think you're completely wrong as well. No to you as well, mate.
We were scared today, really.
Scared to pass the ball forward. We defended cracking, but was we not scared to pass the ball today? It went back all the time. Like you say, if you say I'm sleeping, mate, you're deluded as well. Big time.
Fair enough. We're not going to agree on this. No. We're not going to agree on this. Like, we were away, at a Champions League team today, and the difference in quality from the two teams was clear and obvious to me.
We passed
like
the ball
we did
so
our best.
slow. Look at this comment. It's true.
We did our best, but
it's
we
so
weren't
true.
good enough. We're not good enough. That's just a fact. We're not good enough.
We passed the ball so slow. You knocked the comment off because you know it was right. We passed the ball.
I didn't
so
actually
slow.
see it.
Right, I'm going to shoot anyway then, because
we should demand
we
better,
don't agree tonight. We completely disagree. We completely disagree, and
but we're allowed to disagree.
No, we're allowed to disagree, but you think you're completely right, and it's point versus
but
point.
So do you, though.
You don't even want my point.
That's the whole
across.
point. Is no, but
like I say, he's just said as well, and there's some that agree as well. Like the thing is, you think you're always right, and you're not, and neither am I as well. But you think you are.
I just think I have got.
Our build-up play was so slow.
Opinion. Yep.
Yet we have pace on the ball because it was so slow, and we didn't pass the ball quick, and that's why I said we bottled it passing. That's someone that agrees with me, so at least I know I'm not completely wrong.
No,
because we didn't show Thingy passing the ball. There's probably someone signing up for you. I don't know, Jeff. You're wrong, mate. There is Everton. You just knocked it off again, Jeff. Jeff, you're wrong, mate. This Everton Football Club, we should demand better. And that's what I think as well. I generally think if you keep saying, "Oh, last season we was crap," so we've got new players now. We need to set our bar higher. And for me, I have, and I know what every player was capable of, and there wasn't that today. If you're going to go back to last season and say, "Oh, we was that last season, so we can let them off with being crap," or "We was that last season, so we can let them off with being crap," then we're probably going to end up in the same situation as last season.
No, I'm just like I said.
You have to push the players to a lot more to get out of where we was last season.
And I want us to be better.
Paul just says, "Chill, boys, have a kiss."
I just think that expecting a team that just nearly got relegated to suddenly become an all singing, all dancing team that plays fantastic football every week.
Didn't say that though, did I? I said pass the ball in patches. I said at least pass the ball 3-4 passes when you can. I didn't say dominate like you said. I didn't say that.
We were in the game.
I don't expect us to be that good, but I expect us to be better than what we was.
We were in the game until the penalty. We were in the game for the whole game until a Pickford mistake for the penalty. We were in the game. We weren't the better side, obviously, because Tottenham were well ahead of us. But we were in the game. We defended well. We were doing all right. And we were giving them a good game. And then we made a mistake. They scored a penalty. And we don't have enough quality, really, to come back from that. And because we're just not quite good enough yet. It just is what it is. But, yeah, on that note, if we're not going to,
dinner.
All right, mate. Thanks everyone for joining.
See you in a bit. And, take care. Up the fucking toffees. We go on.
Have a good evening, everybody. All right, let's end that.